What's up, guys? So this time around we'll be talking about another RDA. It's just another RDA. It's going to be kind of short. It's the Vulcan. I've made so many videos about this, including when I was at work, but I decided to kind of scrap it like I do with most of my videos, to kind of give you more input after I used it for quite a long time. So here's a little history about this RDA. I got it thinking it would be pretty good. I built it and it was really crappy. But I kept using it, and I kept getting burnt hit, even if my wick was moist. So, for the sake of the video, I just kept using it, and then I built another coil on it, and that second coil was the one that saved this build. What I did was I'm using twisted 28 gauge at 0.25 ohms, dual coil, and where the problem was that this coil was too high, and it wasn't getting direct airflow from the airflow cap hole here. So that's why I was getting dry hits even if my wick was moist. I needed that direct airflow and I wasn't getting it. After that, this Vulcan has become my favorite RDA of all time. At the moment, it actually replaced my Stellaire. It gives me just as much flavor as Stellaire does, and just as much vapor as Stellaire does. Not as much airflow, but then you do get that Tobe type dripping, right? So now we got like 1-to-1, right? And the reason why the Vulcan takes the cake is because the juice well is gigantic. If you see other people's reviews, that negative post, it has a section in there where it's just hollowed out. Let's see, maybe if I could just show you. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay. So do you see that under the negative post right there? Maybe you can see it there. See that? Under the negative posts, it is completely empty, and that is plenty of space for juice to stick, and just humongous amounts of juice. So the juice well in this is freaking fantastic. I can vape it and take about 20 drags until I have to drip again. And the airflow is good for what it is. It's actually perfect for me. Kind of exactly where I wanted it. So. Five consecutive hits, back to back, and I barely used any juice. It's still incredibly moist. And it's kind of why it replaced my Stellaire. I was very hesitant to do it, but it did. I did, and I love the Stellaire. I guess kind of my top 5 at the moment of RDAs is number 1 comes this Vulcan. I freaking love it. Number 2 comes the Tobe. Number 3 comes the Stellaire. Number 4 comes the Magma. And the Magma was a struggle. But when I got it working the way I wanted to get it working, it's kind of one of my favorite RDAs, still in the top 5. And the 5th place is kind of this elm clone. This is originally a hybrid, but then the clone actually just comes with a 510 thread. And this thing is just fantastic to drip because it just comes off like this. But that's for another video. So, back to the Vulcan. Building it's easy, it has thumb screws, but I still have to use pliers to tighten it down. Especially because I hate loose coils, right? When you do the screw thing and you heat it up, it gets loose. Heat loosens up threads. We all know this. So what I usually do is I build it, I heat it up, and then I retighten the coils. With the thumb screws, when I heat it up, I can't touch it. So I need to use pliers to kind of tighten that up, which is totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. Usually builds last me months and months and months now. Just because I change out the wick, I clean out the coils, and usually the coils that I build on it is fantastic, and my fingers is healing because I'm building less coils. And my fingers was all mangled here, bleeding. And now since I'm building less coils, my fingers finally healing. So the vapor production is fantastic. The airflow on this, you could say it's restrictive. It's not really. It's actually exactly how I like it. Although some of you might want bigger airflows, especially if you're going to run coils under 0.2. I run them between 0.2 and 0.3, which is, in my opinion, my favorite builds on mechanicals. So delicious. Now, when we're talking about variable regulated devices, I kind of have the taupe for that. I had this on a 1 ohm coil. It's fantastic too. So again, different applications, different la-di-das. What I noticed is this Vulcan performs freaking fantastic on a mechanical at 0.22, 0.25 ohm dual coils, twist 28 gauge. Kind of my favorite gauge to work with too. I have it on a brass M16 clone and like Pyrex strip tip with the brass kind of accent, and it's been hitting fantastic. This is kind of my primary when I do go out. Flavor's freaking spot on. It's a great RD. I gave it 2 thumbs up. And here's the best part about it: authentic only costs you 60 bucks. So again, on the RDA in the world, if we compare both authentic, not compare, if we put together both, clones and authentics, really we kind of meet at the middle price range of 60 bucks. Right? But when we only look at the authentics, $60 is freaking fantastic price. When we only look at clones, this is very expensive still. So depending on kind of what your vape budget is, I believe there's clones for the Vulcans as well anyway, so but if you're an authentic kind of guy and you're still on a budget, man, this thing's gonna be the thing for you. 60 bucks and you get a great RDA. Kind of one of my favorites right now, one of my favorites. So definitely something to look into if you guys have RDAs, you're looking to get one, and you vape kind of above 0.2, that airflow will be perfectly adequate for you. Now the con is the airflow control is really crappy. These sidewalls that come up here, basically you kind of twist your cap to block some of the airflow if you want reduced airflow. At the same time though, you gotta kind of position your coil right next to that wall if you're gonna do that. That's a pain in the ass. Luckily this thing has perfect airflow for me at wide open, so I don't have to do that. But you have to remember to kind of sink your coils down to where the airflow hits the coils. That's very important, because my first go about at this did not do that, and it's freaking horrible. So let's go ahead and juice this up, and when I juice it, dude, I just put a whole bunch of juice. That is so good. So you can pick these up anywhere. It's too many vape shops to already have it. I don't have it on sosliquid.com because I'm probably not going to put it up on there. But it's a fantastic RDA. It's definitely my top 5. But it does get 2 thumbs up. It freaking works. It does what it's supposed to. It does it well. And the bang for the buck, really, if you're thinking about authentics, it's definitely worth the money. It just is. It's good. It's good. Now, my Stellar is still very much a good RDA. And I believe this Vulcan, the Stellar, and the Taupe all has its ups and downs. But they're all pretty much tied for first. So I'm not going to say this thing's better than anything else, but it's definitely one of my 3 favorites. Freaking fantastic. And so, with that being said, that's kind of it. Kind of show you my, another great RDA is that Magma after I got it working the way I wanted to. So good. I'm at 0.8 ohms, 28 watts, 4.6 volts. Again, it's just a freaking RDA, guys. You can pretty much get any RDA to work. It depends on what coil you do it on there, what wick you use, how you wick it. and airflow. And the airflow is, you know, all that is key to having a good vapor production. Moreover, though, it's better to have a more flavor, right? I mean, this thing produces fantastic flavor, and I have this thing where I'd rather have more flavor than vapor. I could really give a... No, I care about vapor, okay? It's satisfying. To blow a cloud is satisfying. But without the flavor, it's not worth it. And that's why I like the V2s, because it produces great flavor, just not the vapor. Alright, well, that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I've been kind of busy. Me and my wife are moving soon. We're moving to a different place. And so, hopefully this new place will have a separate vape layer. My wife is calling it the man cave. Alright, so hopefully I will have my man cave. And I've just been working, and so that's kind of gets in the way. I haven't been able to put up that many videos. Hopefully I can get back into the flow of things. Thanks for watching.